begun to outperform among the best groups so far this month. So how do you make sense of this loss of momentum? Tim, not a lot of huge news flow to really turn the tide, but we just continued what we saw on Friday. Sentiment changing? Is the bull rally over? Where are you going to take this?
I agree. Kind of a nuanced day, because there's some stats out there that are floating around the market, which is that hedge funds exposure to Mag 7 stocks is at its lowest since April of 23. You kind of see that after some of the moves. The dynamics we have, I think, overall with what's going on with the post-DeepSeek environment, whether it's spend, whether it's AI, whether it's data center, whether it's all the related trades. Also, other comments out there today that Microsoft is actually looking to cancel leases on certain data centers, puts a little bit more of a scare into the CapEx spend part of it. It's all ahead of suddenly. I know it always feels like it's the most important earnings call, but NVIDIA really feels critical for Wednesday. And then if you get back to the charts, semiconductors, which we've all chronicled here, have led the NASDAQ, which have led the S&P for years. Really, it seems like it, at least for 2 or 3 years. And now the breakdown in the semis is very gradual. It's kind of what you said. We've been going sideways for months, but we're getting to a place where not only did we close below the 50-day, which we've done now 6 times in the last 6 months, but most of them have come in the last 3 weeks. But we're about to possibly have a bear cross, which is where the 50-day crosses over the 200-day, simply saying that long-term trends may be starting to change, if we wanted to oversimplify what that means. So there's a lot of different things, both technicals and I think some nuances. Nothing has changed in terms of the backdrop. We've got the same administration that people were very excited about the market implications for. I saw Scott Bessent talking about how policy is disinflationary. I believe him. I feel very confident in that Treasury Secretary, but I think there are dynamics for this market. It's as much about positioning and sentiment right now.
Guy, what do you make of everything that's going on here? And just recently, this afternoon, Trump was saying, look, these tariffs that we had planned for Mexico and Canada, they're going forward as scheduled. We don't have a lot of the details yet, but, I mean, is that going to rattle markets then going in further tomorrow?
Welcome, as always.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Joe. With that said, I mean, I think the market's figured out how to sort of handicap tariffs and a lot of the rhetoric out of the White House to me, and I'm glad to mention it. You know, semiconductors have led the way without question. But you know what's fascinating? The SMH, which is not the best constructed ETF, but the one we all look at, that made its high in July of last year. And ever since then, it's been trading sideways now to slightly lower, which I think is interesting. And Microsoft, which I think we all would say is one of the top 5 most important companies in the world, that also made its all-time high in June, July of last year, and it's been trading lower since. So there are a lot of things around the surface, despite the fact that the S&P is effectively at all-time highs, to be concerned about. And then over the weekend, we hear that now Warren Buffett has north of $330 billion in cash sitting around. And that Buffett indicator, which is not a timing mechanism, is now north of 210%. So as much as there are things to be, I guess, optimistic about, there are a lot of things to be concerned about on the metric side.
Karen, again, we're seeing these defensive names obviously catching a bid today. Consumer staples higher, but not like what we saw on Friday. Still, right. I mean, anything fundamentally changed for you today?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's to me, the air coming out of some of these things. So Palantir at 90, it's not shocking that it's at 90. It's shocking that it was at 145.
Oh, okay.
Right? To me, Carvana at 285. It's not shocking now it's at 215.
Walmart at 110, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I'm long, so of course I feel, that's just fine. But you're right. It was, too expensive for it. So there's a lot of those names that I still Reddit, for example, down, I don't know, $50 or more. Affirm, which the last 2 quarters were spectacular. The stock just sort of got ahead of itself. We'll see. We got some very big earnings this week. I think actually NVIDIA is obviously really important. I own it. It's certainly important to me, but I don't think it is as much of a linchpin as it was last year when it was all Mag 7. And I think we've started to see things really broaden out in terms of where they're, healthcare today was really good. Staples has been doing nicely. Industrials had a really tough week. But I think it's important, but not quite as important.